No, I'm right. Episode 25 right here on the WG Sports Radio Network. Joe, it's crazy. 25th episode already. We're 1/4 of the way to episode 100, and it's been a blast so far. And I'm really excited, Joe, about our guest today, aren't you?
Yes. Coming from somebody who needs to start eating and actually living a more lively lifestyle and cutting down, this is going to be something much needed for me. I don't know about you, Nick. You're pretty slim. Pretty slender.
It's not like I work out,
back to middle school.
But I do eat quite a lot. Check me out, Nick's Food and Stuff on Instagram. You always see posting food there. So Nick Durst here, of course, with Joe Calabrese. But Joe, we have crazy things going on in sports. Obviously, we got bubbles in Disney, bubbles in Edmonton and Toronto. We got baseball teams going to be locked in hotels for road games. We got NBA players got in crazy physical shape during COVID. So we need to bring in an expert, right, Joe? So what I thought we should do was, you may have seen this young lady in the critically acclaimed YouTube series Food Disclosure, which is absolutely fantastic. She did a great job on that. And you can also check her out on Instagram and Facebook at Mindfully Nutritious. She is a master of nutrition and a future dietitian. She is Lisa Gangemi. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Wow, thank you for that introduction, Nick. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. Hi, Joe. Hi, Nick. I am just thrilled to be here for your 25th episode. This is so cool, guys. This is awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on.
Absolutely, Lisa. So the first question here that I think a lot of the listeners are wondering right now is, what's the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian?
Okay. All right. So there is definitely drastic differences. So that's a great question. So a nutritionist is actually somebody that doesn't actually hold a credential. So there's no licensure involved. There's no testing involved. There's no actual credential. There's no board that oversees their practice whatsoever. And in some states, it's actually illegal for them to solicit or give out nutrition information since they're not qualified. So that's where the dietitian comes in. And now dietitians, as I am studying to be right now, I have to still complete my last exam because this is a very long process. So dietitians have 4 years of undergraduate nutrition studies, then 2 years of a master's in nutrition, and then a 1 year long program, which includes over 1,200 hours of clinical work, which you're actually at the site. So you're in the hospital, you're talking to the patient, you're doing, I was fortunate enough to work for a sports team. So I was with Rutgers athletes, working with them. And I also worked with kidney and diabetes patients as well. So all that, and then I graduate, and then you still have to take a credential exam. And that's when you become a dietitian. So they truly educate us a lot. And that's why we're here, to help you with all your nutrition needs. So I hope I answered that.
No, you did a very good job with that. So you mentioned Rutgers. Fun fact for everybody on the show, I went to Marist, but Rutgers offered me the most scholarship money, and I almost went there. So
nice. Hey.
So why'd you turn it down, Joe?
Because I wanted to go to Marist instead. They had a better communications program, and it was more far along and developed from what Rutgers had at the time. So, but yeah. Anyway, getting back to Lisa, because she is the focal point of this podcast. When did you know that you wanted to make this a lifestyle? Because anybody who does this kind of line of work and does all this work with other people, it's big time service, very person to person, very personable. When was there a point when you were younger when you knew, like, this is what I wanted to do and this is what I want to do with the rest of my life and make this my career?
That's a great question. So for me, it came a lot later in my education than I would have liked it to. So I first went to college on a pre-med track, and I was thinking about becoming a nurse practitioner. But I knew I wanted to do something in medicine, wasn't 100% sold on the practitioner. So I just continued to take those science courses, and I did a 4-year undergraduate course for pre-med, and I graduated with that. And that's when I realized I want to become a dietitian. And I thought, okay, so I have this pre-med under my belt. I'll be fine. Dietitians in the science field, I shouldn't have to take any more classes. And that's when I found out that for dietetics, there's a number of specified nutrition courses, and they really go into, you take general anatomy and physiology as your undergrad, but when you're doing a nutrition undergrad, they teach you the microphysiology of those specific nutrients within the body. So that's a whole nother class on itself. So anyway, with all that being said, I had to take an additional 2 years of undergraduate coursework to get a second degree, a second undergraduate degree. And then I went on to get my master's as well, so another 2 years. And then after that, what I listed before, my 1,200 practice hours. So it came really, really late for me, but I definitely don't regret it. It's such a rewarding field. As you said, it's very personable. So every single day I get to talk one-on-one with people across, really now, because of virtual counseling, it's across states at this point. And I get to customize a plan that works for any type of nutrition goal that they're looking for. And I get to spend time with them and really get to know them and really shape something that works. So it's really rewarding. It really is.
So Lisa, obviously you're working with different type of people, but you worked at Rutgers, so you firsthand experience maybe with the athletes. How do athletes typically work with a dietitian, and how does that differ from a normal person who maybe doesn't have a huge body mass index and isn't like full muscle and high metabolism, working out nonstop? So how does that all piece together, and how does that change your mindset when you are working with an athlete, if you are?
Right. So that's a great question. And I will say definitely working with athletes at Rutgers helped shape the way that I'm answering this question right now, because prior, every dietitian, we know so much nutrition information. We know exactly what you need to do for you to get those results. And so, of course, we can tell you all of this, but what really it comes down to is how much that player or that person is serious about what we're talking about, how much they understand it, how much it means to them, and then also cultural beliefs. You have different religious beliefs as well. People come from all different countries, all different states, and so they have different palates, and it really is a lot to consider. So there's some cultural competence that really comes in there, and dietitians have to make sure that whenever it's a player or just a person, we're just taking into consideration what is best for them at that time in their life and for the goals that they need us to help them get to.
So me and Nick are huge sports guys, right? So most of what we deal with is talking about players and stuff and their lifestyles. And there are a lot of players out there who already abide by this lifestyle of your body's a temple and just doing whatever they can 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to try to get the most out of their lives as top athletes. Mm-hmm. So one thing is those athletes have lots and lots and lots of money that we don't have. I don't have it. Nick's got a little bit more of it than I do. So, but usually,
what are you trying to imply here, Joe?
He's calling you out, Nick.
What am I, Jerry Maguire? Show me the money over here? I don't know what you're talking about, Joe.
Anyway, so back to what I was asking. So people usually equate this kind of really targeted, more nutritional, healthy lifestyle with more money, right? Like, people think it's more costly to keep up. People would much rather go out for a quick bite to eat or go somewhere for a quick snack or a quick drink or something, right? So for somebody who is transitioning, right, you're working with somebody new, comes in, for that person, a starter budget, right? So on like a day-by-day basis, on a week-by-week basis, because if you start it easy for people, I think they're more likely to actually make the full transition, right? So talking from a budget standpoint, what should you look to set aside each day, each week, to get that load off your mind that it's not as costly as what you came in thinking it was?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I think that that's something that, like you said, a lot of people feel that it's expensive to be healthy. And you know what? The media even kind of plays into that a little bit, kind of like almost forcing you. So now there becomes like this fear around food. If I don't buy organic, I'm not going to be healthy. That might be the mindset. That's not true, but that could be the mindset somebody has that is now going to stop them from even making that first step to go ahead and, maybe just eat more vegetables. It doesn't even have to be organic at all. It could just be sweet potatoes or, whatever your favorite vegetable or most palatable would be. Include that in. And it's these little steps that will lead to huge changes in the long run. So that's what I really always stress with every single client that I talk to, that this is a lifestyle. Anything that you read about when it comes to anything that says diets is simply something that, yes, will work for a short period of time. You'll probably get some results, but then it's not going to be sustainable, and you're going to either find yourself losing that muscle that you gained, or bringing that weight back, or blood glucose going all over the place, whatever it was. So what you really need to make sure is that you're always targeting what you specifically feel that you can do, what you can mentally handle, because this whole healthy lifestyle journey it has a huge mental component to it as well. And now to finally actually answer your question on budget, I would say that you can easily have a healthy meal for under $3 a day,
Wow.
or $3. I will actually say, $3 a meal. So let's not say day, but $3 a meal. So we can do something as under $10 a day. And now that would maybe include organic foods, maybe it wouldn't. But then again, when we're talking about overall health, the whole organic thing, which really raises the prices, because the organic labeling on food costs food producers so much money that also increases the price of the product you're buying.
That's a good fact. I never knew that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely. So you have to think, some companies specifically don't have that non-GMO label on, or the non-GMO project label on, or the USDA mark, because they simply didn't pay for it. But that product could be organic. They're not labeling it yet, or that labeling hasn't been put on. So that's something to always keep in mind. So a good thing is to know the brands that you're loyal to. And, if you have a good feel for the brand that you're buying into, are they sourcing good products? Are they, trying to put out the best quality? Then that's something that you could really stand by. The trouble is right now in the supermarkets, most of the food is owned by only 7 big brands, owns literally everything in the supermarket, and only some brands make their way in, and it's hard to stay on the shelf. So we're in some crazy food time, guys. But getting back to your question, you can totally do it on a $10 a day budget, or even less than that. And working with a dietitian, you can actually tell them, hey, this is my income. This is how much I have to spend on food. This is real life, so there's no judging here. And we will go through and we will help create a plan that works for you with food you actually like. And yeah, we'll help you reach that goal. So
Fantastic.
I know that was long-winded, but yeah.
No, I think that was, as Joe would probably say, it's an exceptional answer.
Yeah, that hit every single point, and you went beyond that. And it's like I said, this stuff worries people. A lot of people really feel defeated at the beginning. Like, I can't do it because I feel like I'm spending $20+ a day, trying to make sure every single meal is, as, healthy and cheap as you can find within your budget. So yeah, but it was a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, Lisa, minor league athletes, that aren't pros yet, they're making like $200 a week. And you have players like, for example, on the Mets, Dom Smith, when he first came up, he was extremely overweight. He said, I was eating McDonald's every day. So I think it's really crucial that, these organizations should probably hire a dietitian to work with the younger players as they're coming up through the system, because things are always changing, and, the facts ultimately stay the same. But they got to change. They got to adapt to their different lifestyles. And now you have the National Basketball Association is having a bubble in Disney, and you have the NHL is going